Did you know that India is one of the very few countries that has managed to maintain long-term diplomatic ties with North Korea? Yes, that's right. In a world where most nations have distanced themselves from Pyongyang, New Delhi has chosen a different path. But what does India hope to achieve through this unique engagement with the Kim regime? And how sustainable is this relationship in the face of growing global challenges? India's ties with the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, DPRK, stretch back over 47 years, a legacy rooted in the principles of the non-alignment movement. Unlike the West, which largely shuns North Korea, India has sustained a dialogue, making it one of just 25 countries worldwide with an embassy in Pyongyang. This relationship isn't just symbolic. From cultural exchanges to agreements in science and technology, New Delhi has been an active participant in engaging with North Korea. Back in 2018, India made headlines when General V.K. Singh, the Minister of State for External Affairs, visited Pyongyang to mark 45 years of diplomatic ties. This visit sparked immense speculation. Was India looking to revitalize its relationship with North Korea? Singh's visit wasn't a one-off. It was followed by meetings with North Korean officials on the sidelines of the ASEAN Regional Forum. Let's travel back in time a little. During the Korean War, India took on a crucial role in navigating the treacherous waters of global conflict. As the war escalated into a proxy battlefield for superpowers, India remained neutral but not passive. The nation's diplomatic endeavors, led by V.K. Krishna Menon, focused on peace and reunification without taking sides. India's neutrality wasn't a sign of indifference but a calculated strategy aimed at de-escalation and humanitarian concerns. This commitment culminated in India's pivotal proposal at the UN General Assembly in 1952, advocating for the neutral nations Repatriation Commission, a move that played a significant role in the eventual cessation of hostilities and the signing of the Korean Armistice Agreement in 1953. However, India's engagement with North Korea has had its fair share of controversy. Between 1995 and 2016, 30 North Korean students studied advanced courses on space science and satellite technology at the Center for Space Science and Technology Education in Asia and the Pacific, CSSTEOP, in Dehradun. Graduates from CSSTEOP have gone on to hold significant positions in Pyongyang, including the North Korean Embassy's first secretary to India, Hong Yong-il. However, this cooperation came under scrutiny when a UN panel of experts reported that India's actions might have violated UN Security Council Resolution 1718, which bans the transfer of nuclear technology and related training to North Korea. Although India made its stance clear to the UN Security Council, it responded to international concerns by halting the acceptance of North Korean students in such programs. When it comes to trade, India has maintained a vital yet measured role in its relationship with North Korea. Until recently, India was North Korea's second largest trading partner, though the figures still paled in comparison to China's massive trade volume. Back in 2016, India's exports to the DPRK were valued at $54.1 million, while imports stood at $65.9 million. But as tensions escalated between North Korea and the US, India aligned its policies with UN economic sanctions, halting all trade with the DPRK in April 2017. Except for essential food and medicine. Despite these sanctions, New Delhi continues to explore ways to maintain its ties, particularly in non-sensitive areas like medical and food trade. In 2020, India extended $1 million in humanitarian aid to North Korea. This aid, comprising mainly anti-tuberculosis medicines, highlights India's ongoing commitment to supporting the North Korean people during tough times. Despite the Hermit Kingdom's notorious isolation, India has consistently shown up, whether it was providing food during natural calamities or assisting with medical supplies. But what's driving this aid diplomacy? Could it be India's desire to act as a bridge between North Korea and the West? Now here's where it gets tricky. North Korea's nuclear program isn't just a global concern, it's a direct threat to India's national security. Add to that the growing relationship between Pyongyang and Islamabad, and you've got a potential powder keg. In 2004, the founder of Pakistan's nuclear bomb, A.Q. Khan, confessed to selling nuclear technology to North Korea and Iran. While North Korea assured India that it won't do anything to jeopardize Indian security, the reality is more complex. The long-standing nuclear cooperation between North Korea and Pakistan, with a nudge from China, keeps New Delhi on high alert. So where does this leave India? With its eyes set on expanding influence in the Indo-Pacific and strengthening ties with the US, Japan, and South Korea, India is walking a diplomatic tightrope. On one hand, it wants to keep the dialogue with North Korea alive. On the other, it can't ignore the implications of its growing alliances with nations opposed to Pyongyang's actions. Could India play a more significant mediating role on the Korean Peninsula? Perhaps, but that largely depends on North Korea's willingness to change its stance. A scenario that seems far-fetched right now. With the world undergoing significant geopolitical shifts and North Korea potentially facing its own economic challenges, India's continued engagement might just pay off in unexpected ways. As dialogue between North Korea and key global players inevitably resumes, New Delhi could find itself in a unique position to promote peace and stability in the region. But can India really bridge the chasm between the world's largest democracy and one of its most isolated regimes? What's clear is that India's diplomatic efforts signal to the international community, and particularly to the West, that it is not just a passive observer, but a key player in shaping Asian security and global diplomacy. Only time will reveal how this intricate balancing act will unfold.